जनाब सुभाष घई साहब इस वक्त हमारे साथ हैं और हम उनके विस्लिंग वुड्स इंस्टीट्यूट में हैं इस वक्त। सुभाष घई साहब, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आपका।
थैंक यू फॉर कमिंग। थैंक्स फॉर कमिंग।
मीट अस ओवर हियर। थैंक यू सो मच। और मैं देख रहा हूँ कि आपके टेलीफोन के ऊपर साईं बाबा की तस्वीर है।
हाँ,
तो साईं बाबा के भक्त हैं आप।
बिकॉज साईं बाबा ये काम कहते रहते हैं कि काम अच्छा करोगे तो रिजल्ट अच्छा दूंगा, काम नहीं अच्छा करोगे तो खुद भुगतोगे। सो ही रिमाइंड्स मी ओनली वन थिंग, वर्क हार्ड, डू बेस्ट।
ये सिर्फ साईं बाबा बोलते हैं कि हर एक कोई बोलता है? क्योंकि बचपन से यू बीन वेरी हार्ड वर्किंग, दैट्स व्हाट आई हैव हर्ड।
आप किसी अग्नि को मान लीजिए भगवान, किसी दिए को मान लीजिए, किसी रोशनी को मान लीजिए, ये तो आपका अपना अपना ऑब्जेक्ट है, कैसे भी आप। इट इज लाइक मोर ऑफ ए सेल्फ टीचिंग, टॉकिंग टू योर ओन कॉन्शियस।
But this is a lovely place you built up over here. Really, very, very nice. Really
yes,
lovely.
God has been kind.
Can we get that?
God has been really kind that our company could do and fulfill the commitment, whatever we gave it to investors. And finally, there is a International Film Institute, Television and Media Arts, and it is opening on 15th July this year. We need 100 students per semester. But we have thousands of applications at the moment.
From all over the world?
From all over the world, yeah, for all Indian.
And notwithstanding the fact that it costs a lot of money to come over here, it's not cheap.
No. You see,
nothing in life comes cheap. And I'll take you back to what you said just now, earlier. But anyway, we'll finish with the fee part.
Okay. The fees part,
Gee.
you should look at the building. How much it costed to my company, to my investors, to myself. 4 years of rigorous training. You see, unless you charge good fees, students don't value. Nothing comes free, first. Second thing, but we have a policy in the institute that we will admit students with talent on merits. Merits will be the first one, because we have a schema for scholarships, for bank loans, and the fees part of it. People who can pay fees, they should pay the fees.
Right, मतलब बैंक लोन भी, etc. I mean, it's a very highly professionally run institute, the way it would be, say, in the US. Exactly. So you adopted the American model. American model में हार्वर्ड जाने के लिए, येल जाने के लिए आपको बैंक लोन मिलता है। स्टैनफोर्ड में आपको इंस्टीट्यूट अंदर जाने के लिए आपको काफ़ी मशक्कत करनी पड़ती है अगर आपके पास खुद के पैसे नहीं। लेकिन आजकल तो जितने पैसे वाली फैमिली हैं वो भी वही करते हैं, ज़्यादातर बैंक लोन लेते हैं, उसके बाद जाकर अंदर जाते हैं।
No, that we will not allow, because if their income group is good, we'll see to it that they pay for it. Bank loans will be permitted only to the people who are middle income group or the poor people.
Right. Now, the other thing that you mentioned when you were looking up, you said, by the grace of God, we come up till here. Now, before the interview started, you were saying the first thing that you got to do is to impress God. That's what you said.
That's important.
What does that mean?
Because you see, when I was born, my mom said, "Thank God." My pop said, "Thank God." When I passed my schooling, they said, "Thank God." When I passed my college, I said, "Thank God." When I got my first direction, I said, "Thank God." So the whole life is around your God. But then what is a God? It is a long discussion. Can we have another session on the God?
Thank God. All right, one of these days, maybe Mr. Ghai will make a movie on God. Now, let's take a look at some of these pictures. ये जो तस्वीरें हैं,
yeah, this is how we have built up. Yes. So it took 4 years for us to build up and design, and gradually, this is a story. And more than a building, what we had to design, it has been designed with the consultation of academic people, not by the architect themselves, or not because of the interior or exterior part of it. What is the requirement of our academy? That is first. Because I visited more than 40 film institutes in the world, and I collected all data and facts. How do they work? What is their curriculum? What are the problems in media schools they face? You see, and then finally we translated into our own syllabus and on our own.
I was reading
model.
कहीं पे मतलब आप ही का इंटरव्यू पढ़ रहा था यहाँ पे आने के पहले, आपने कहा है कि आप 42 फिल्म इंस्टीट्यूट में गए पूरी दुनिया में। उनमें से कोई ऐसा है जो बहुत ज़्यादा जिसने इम्प्रेस किया आपको, ये फिल्म इंस्टीट्यूट यार ये ज़बरदस्त है?
Yes, I would say the number one, according to me, which has a conservative model as well as the contemporary methodology, there was the American Film School.
The American Film School.
The American Film School in Los Angeles.
Ji.
It is a school for the last 54 years. And top stars and top directors and top people have come there. And they have a very, very clean, clear-cut focus on film training. You see. And then there is a UCLA in Los Angeles.
Right.
But it is a university in itself.
The University of California in
Los Angeles.
Ji.
And that has wonderful programs for the students. Even at the micro level, they are being trained, which was wonderful. And the third institute which impressed me was the Australian.
In Australia?
Yeah, Australia, you see. The
Which
School for the Film and Television, Sydney.
In Sydney?
Yeah. It's wonderful. And they were very cooperative with us to share their knowledge and their experience. And we told them the difference of the Indian culture and the Western culture, and particularly the Hollywood cinema and Indian cinema. The main thing which we had to work, why it took 3 to 4 years, main thing was the curriculum, more than a building. Building तो आप 6 महीने में खड़ा कर दीजिए,
जी,
पैसा होना चाहिए. लेकिन जो उसका curriculum बनाना है, उसका syllabus बनाना है, जो कि आने वाले students हैं, उनका क्या लेवल है, क्या अंडरस्टैंडिंग है, क्या परसेप्शन है पढ़ने के लिए, फिल्म को क्या समझते हैं, टेलीविजन को क्या समझते हैं, तो एजुकेशन में क्या क्या डेफिशिएंसी हैं, इन पर्टिकुलर इंडियन एजुकेशन सिस्टम में, तो ये पूरा स्टडी करना पड़ा. एंड फाइनली स्टडी करने के बाद वी हैड ए ह्यूज टीम इंक्लूडिंग मेघना घाई, हु इज द प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ दिस इंस्टीट्यूट नाउ.
Your daughter?
Yeah, my daughter. And she worked really, she's an MBA from London, and she worked for 3 years constantly, day and night, to see to it that we achieved the quality education for the student.
Now, let me put it to you this way. आप जब खुद FTI में थे, Film Institute में थे, now over there, you know, there was a particular way of doing things.
Yeah.
एक तरीका था काम करने का, और उस ज़माने में फिल्म शायद उसी तरीके से पढ़ाई जाती थी. आइसेनस्टाइन से शुरू हो जाएं, W.R. ग्रिफिथ्स भी बीच में आ गया, उसके बाद जितने भी ओल्ड मास्टर्स हैं आप उनको स्टडी कीजिए और उसके बाद यहाँ तक आ जाइए. आज जो फिल्म टेक्निक पढ़ाने की जो बात है, या फिल्म के बारे में अगर हम बात करें, तो अगर पढ़ाई जाए तो फ़र्क क्या है? What will be the difference?
इसी देखिए, जो सिनेमा है
जी,
वो आपके समाज को रिफ्लेक्ट करता है. It reflects your society. It tells the story about the current people, their values, changing people, right? Their drama, their current issues. So when in 1960, when the Film Institute of Pune, where I also got admission as an actor and did my 2 years course over there.
After you finished off as a commerce graduate from the university.
Yeah, I did my BCom and then I went to the Film Institute.
Ji.
Because my father advised me one thing very strongly, though he was against me for joining movie industry. He wanted me to be a chartered accountant.
Like all good middle class people.
Yeah.
Now, nobody wanted to join film.
And in 1960, it was not a really job.
That's right.
Oriented profession. But he told me, if you think that you're a talented, it's very important for you to go for education.
Right.
Go to the Film Institute, train yourself for 2 years, and extensive study. And then go to the film industry. People will respect you more. They will take you seriously more. You won't look like a struggler and a dreamer who has come to and knocked the door of the producer. I want to become an actor.
Were you ever a struggler?
Yes. Initially, I had to struggle a lot because there was only film industry. Only few movies were being made with the star cast, and I did not know anybody in the industry.
You've acted in a lot of films, isn't it?
Yes.
एक फिल्म आई थी उमंग.
Yeah.
उसके अंदर भी आप थे, वो गाने बजाने की फिल्म बड़ी अच्छी थी. It was a nice movie.
Yeah. It was about a young boy.
Yes.
That was one of my earlier movies. I worked. But then I didn't enjoy acting because I think I discovered myself that I'm a better writer and a director. So I started writing my scripts. फिर मैंने डायरेक्शन में चला गया, फिर डायरेक्शन मिल गई मुझको. उसके बाद बाकी का जो चीज़ें हैं वो तो
माशाल्लाह है ही. लेकिन अब हम लोग बात कर रहे थे किस तरीके से आज की तारीख में जो फिल्म है वो समाज को रिफ्लेक्ट करती है. Contemporaneous society is being reflected in movies as well. Now, so how will you teach it differently?
You see, first of all, it's very important for Indian students to understand that they should stop aping American cinema. They have thousands of Indian stories within our own country. We have a huge heritage, literature, history, right?
Ji.
So tell your own story to the rest of the people. Boys, girls, they are reaching to the excellence of technology, but not the content. Content still there is a bankruptcy over there. So in this institute, what we have emphasized is the art of storytelling, aesthetics, and skill development program. So by the time after 2 years when they go, they should go as if they have been in the industry for 10 years. They know each and everything. So in our foundation course, for 6 months, we are teaching all students all the courses. Everybody must know. Even the actor must know the photography, the sound, editing. Editor must know about the screenwriting, acting. You see. And after first semester, they can join the specialization for which they would like to.
Wonderful. So, but that still doesn't answer my question. The question is, how is it going to be different from what used to be there earlier? Earlier, you were studying Eisenstein, you were studying, Akira Kurosawa, you were studying, Cecil B.D. Mill, one of your own favorite film directors, William Wyler. I think that's one of your favorite films. Right. Ben-Hur, that's one of your favorite films. And David Lean, of course, is your favorite. You've said you've watched every one of his films.
Absolutely.
तकरीबन हर एक फिल्म आपने देखी है David Lean.
Absolutely.
तो आज की तारीख में आप राज कपूर की फिल्में दिखाएंगे, अपनी फिल्में दिखाएंगे, गुरुदत्त की फिल्में दिखाएंगे, और ज्यादा हिंदुस्तानी फिल्में दिखाएंगे. ये फर्क होगा.
सबसे पहले हम उन्हें इंडियन फिल्म दिखाएंगे. सत्यजीत रे भी दिखाएंगे, ऋत्विक घटक भी दिखाएंगे, राज कपूर भी, महबूब खान भी. उसके बाद हम उनको अमेरिकन सिनेमा भी दिखाएंगे, यूरोपियन सिनेमा भी दिखाएंगे, लेकिन ग्रेजुअली पूरे इंटरनेशनल सिनेमा की लैंग्वेज समझाएंगे कि आप अपनी कहानी इंटरनेशनल लैंग्वेज में और इंटरनेशनल सेंसिबिलिटीज में कैसे कहिए. How to sell your own ideas to the international sensibility as well as
something we need to talk about. That's most interesting. Because here we are looking at a man who brought a certain internationality or a certain international acceptance to Indian cinema. I mean, your film Pardesh, that's what did it. That's the first film really which brought in packed houses in London, even in places like Belgium and elsewhere. That was it. Isn't that right?
Yeah. Including Tal. Tal was witnessed
Tal was fantastic.
Was shown by the Robert Ebert Roger, you know that.
Yeah, that's right.
The number one film critic.
Overlooked films. In that festival of overlooked films.
So Tal was the only Hindi film which was selected by him. And it was shown to them.
And there was an audience of about 800 people there?
1,800 people.
1,800 people there, and not one person left in the middle. They all watched it.
So you know the whole story.
I mean,
I don't have to tell you.
That was amazing. And you were there, right? You were sitting in the back somewhere.
Yes.
Isn't that right?
And he introduced me on the stage, and there was very standing ovation for the film, and they loved the film, and they came to me and discussed. So it was a really overwhelming moment for me. And I wish from this institute we could produce the leaders, we could produce the creators, we could produce the directors. You see, all the filmmakers belong to their era, right? Right from Dadasaheb Phalke to Himanshu Rai, to Raj Kapoor, to Subhash Ghai, to Karan Johar now. So after every 20 years, there is a generation change. The cinema is changing. So changing cinema also now, these people who are 21, 22, who will be studying, so they will be studying the past work of those people, those eras, and they will be inventing the new stories, a new style of storytelling, and matching with the audience sensibility.
And they'll all work, all the talented ones will work for Mukta Arts, so which means more, greater added shareholder value. Now this is a very smart businessman as well. So
see, more than a business is a passion for me.
Yes.
And if the passion becomes a business, fine, you're most welcome. Like I started as a writer-director. So direction was my passion. I was lucky that my passion paid me back and I became a businessman, right? So if the passion pays you back, nothing. But you cannot do a business without passion. Then it's merely a trading. You're just trading from 1 took a 4 and 4 took a 1, right? That is the only answer.
Right. Now, over the years, you watched yourself also, because you reflect even on yourself as to where you went wrong and what you did and stuff like that. And suppose you were to direct Kali Charan again, or Vishwanath again. Suppose you were to do it again. Would you do it any differently?
Yes. You see, the plot is same. There are only 36 plots of story in the world, in the drama, let's say. and you make 36,000 movies and stories and stage plays, around 36 plots. But every time it is narrated different way. If I have to make Kali Charan or Curse today, it will be with the modern language, with the modern characterization, with so many new things in it. There will not be Kabira in it, you know. There will not be unnecessary song of Aruna Irani. And there will be more of a direct language. Because today our heroines, they speak through mind.
Gee.
They don't sentimentalize a thing. So in our time, in 60s, 70s, everything was sentimentalizing. You see, wrenching, making the people cry and cry and cry. But today, people want to laugh and understand, and they speak more through the mind than the heart. So even your characters have to speak that way. Am I right?
And I agree with you. I agree with you entirely. I mean, look at this man. Look at this man. I think now he's being slightly funny. He's, you know, asking me if I agree or not. That matters. कहने का मतलब ये हुआ कि जहाँ तक हिंदुस्तान में स्टार्स का प्रश्न है, आपने तकरीबन हर एक स्टार को डायरेक्ट किया है, तकरीबन हर एक के साथ काम किया है, मतलब कहीं ना कहीं काम किया, जैसे दिलीप साहब और राजकुमार जनाब। मुझे नहीं लगता कि कोई और डायरेक्टर वो कर सकता था जो आपने किया। दोनों को आप इकट्ठा लेकर के आए और दोनों ने असल में काम किया। और सबसे बड़ी बात यह है कि पिक्चर कंप्लीट हुई और पिक्चर सबसे बड़ी हिट हुई उस जमाने की, तब तक की सबसे बड़ी हिट हुई। But you never attempted anything like that again.
मैं एक बात शेयर करना चाहता हूँ आपसे
जी,
कि मैंने कभी भी कोई भी एफर्ट में ये नहीं सोचा कि दूसरा क्या नहीं कर रहा है और दूसरा क्या कर रहा है। मैंने हमेशा ये सोचा है कि मैं पिछले काम से बेहतर कैसे कर सकता हूँ। माई कंपटीशन इज माई सेल्फ, माई कंपटीशन इज नॉट अदर पीपल, बिकॉज अदर पीपल आर डूइंग देयर जॉब, गुड, बैड, अगली, ग्रेट, एंड आई अप्रिशिएट दैट. But what I am doing, whether I am getting better filmmaker or not, that's important. Irrespective of the box office result, sometime बहुत चलती है पिक्चरें, sometime नहीं भी चलती हैं. कभी फिल्मों की उम्मीद नहीं होती कि शायद नहीं चलेगी, वो चल जाती है. मुझे कभी राम लखन के बारे में कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं था कि चलेगी. मुझे लगा था बहुत लाउड है, लेकिन सबसे ज़्यादा वो चली.
और यादें के बारे में बहुत कॉन्फिडेंस था चलेगी.
खैर यादें तो फिर भी चली. कृष्णा के बारे में मुझे बहुत कॉन्फिडेंस था चलेगी, लेकिन नहीं चली.
Krishna is a good film. I must confess this right over here. I like Krishna. It's a great film. That's my opinion. I know a lot of you don't agree with it, but obviously, if you had agreed with it, more of you would have gone to see the film. But,
yes, because Krishna was very honest film, and मेरे ख्याल से जिंदगी में सबसे ज़्यादा अगर मेहनत मैंने किसी फिल्म में की है तो कृष्णा में की थी. बिकॉज ऑफ 1940s की स्टोरी थी वो, 30-40s की, और उसमें costumes, drama, people's body language, people's language, characterization, the relationship between the Britisher, Indian and all. It was tough. It was like making 3 movies together, Hindi movies. But I'm still proud of Krishna. And
I think also there were a couple of things that happened as far as Krishna is concerned. A couple of things might have gone wrong. Lagan अभी भी आई थी, वो भी तकरीबन उसी किस्म की स्टोरी थी.
I would today what I realize is the Krishna went ahead of its time, and the values Krishna is expressing you about India and Indian culture, that there is a sublime love that doesn't go into the mind of the Indian youth today. Today they believe in love as a partner, give and take. That is their love. There is nothing called sublime that one person stays for 50 years in his life and misses one girl and falls in love and tells his wife, well, you are my wife and I'm in love with her. You know, that kind of sublime love is yet to come.
And perhaps the presence of Vivek Oberoi. But anyway, we'll not go into that. That's what's done is done. In terms of now, before we come back to the company itself, let's talk about the coming projects. Are there any new projects which are coming?
Yes, our Mukta Arts is now a complete production house, and we are producing 4 to 6 movies every year. And
that we know all about. 4 to 6 movies.
So year, and we have a story workshop, and we have to carry on. But more important than that, we are creating a pool of talent in this institute. We will be producing 200 graduates in acting, direction, screenplay writing, and other technical course. And more than that, it is more of a more important, which I felt it was very, very important, and it's the need of the hour is to produce professional producers. There are no professional producers. There is no production designer. So for that we had a course. We have a course, Business of Film and Television, where we will be training people as a businessman, that how to become a professional businessman in the world of entertainment. So if they want, they can do that.
And that's most important, because you have to make God knows how many mistakes worth God knows how many crores before you come to know distribution में क्या-क्या करना चाहिए था, exhibitors के साथ क्या-क्या बात करनी चाहिए थी, contract कैसे होता है.
Yes.
And one of the things that you introduced, by the way, as far as this man is concerned over here, we must tell our viewers again, we must remind our viewers that Mukta Arts was the first film and entertainment company to go public. The first IPO came from Mukta Arts, and this man was the first man actually to protest very strongly and put his money where his mouth is when everybody said that the film business is run in a chaotic and haphazard manner. And you actually proved people wrong. That must be...
I think you have answered all my questions.
That must be delightfully satisfying, isn't it, at the moment?
Absolutely. It's just a beginning, I would say, because much more has to be done. And I would be happy only when I find the students coming out of this institute.
This is your
your
proudest monument, so
That's
to speak.
Right. This is what I can give back to my children, to my youth, whatever I earned in my life. This is back to them, all of you. I'm going, it is there for you.
अभी तक आपने जो फिल्में बनाई हैं, as a director, as a producer, you were like on a high, you know, कि भाई ये सब creative काम किया, पैसा इस पे कमाया, आप सारी दुनिया आपको showman कहने लगी, अभी भी हैं, सबसे बड़े showman बॉलीवुड के सुभाष घई साहब ही हैं. लेकिन how does it feel like? You know, you're running an institute.
Yes.
You are now effectively
educationist.
I can't even call you a dean. All right, educationist is fine. That's too. How shall I put it? वो एक दम नहीं होता ना एक शब्द में वो वाला है. तो you've now established something which will be perhaps a standard to follow for the rest of the industry.
That's right.
So what does it make you feel? This is amazing.
Because you see, it's very important that you have to begin it somewhere. And I always love to enter into risk, whether it's a creative risk or business risk. If you remember when Mukta Arts went public first time, we were the first people to go for insurance, and we were the first people to go for the education and institute like this. Because we would like to invent ourselves and take ourselves further so that we can do something for the industry. Then following the industry and market-driven industry pattern, it is better that you create a pattern for them and then move ahead. So many things are yet to be done for the betterment of the film industry.
So which is more exciting?
Yes, every day.
Is this more exciting? Or
at the moment this is more exciting because it is happening. It's just happening. And whatever is happening is more exciting. And futures are dream. Past is just a book. It's documented, right?
Great. In terms of all your favorite directors, which is the film that you would have liked to have made yourself? A film that
you're talking about English or Hindi?
Hindi, अंग्रेजी दोनों मिलाकर के अगर कहा जाए तो कौन सी ऐसी फिल्म है जो आप सुभाष घई आपने देखी और आपने खुद को कहा यार ऐसी फिल्म?
I would say कि when I saw this movie called Beautiful Mind.
A Beautiful Mind, which starred Russell Crowe.
Yes.
When
I saw the film,
about that mathematician. Yeah.
It affected me for 2 days. And with picture which affects me, it is in my mind, in my body, in my breath, for at least 3 to 4 days. It means the picture has really affected me. And Hindi movies, because I've been born, brought up, trained, evolved, made movies, right? So with the age, every time your taste changes, right? So बुढ़ापे में आस्ते आस्ते आपको राग क्लासिकल पसंद आते हैं, भजन पसंद आते हैं. Young age में आपको pop music चाहिए, disco music चाहिए. But as a student of cinema and a student of art, we have a watch on every kind of category. Every segment is important to us because we are dramatists. So we have to know the youngster mind too. What does he think and what is his language and what should be done with him.
All right, now that was A Beautiful Mind. And here now you're speaking in terms of, you know, as a filmmaker, what to make and what to present to people. I'm talking about it personally. एक तो beautiful mind हो गई. उसके अलावा आप ये भी कहा जाता है कि आपको sound of music बड़ी पसंद थी जब आप छोटे थे.
That's right.
जब आप
sound of music थी. When I was small, sound of music थी and 10 Commandments, which affected me the most. Larger screen, big sound, and I saw that film when I was in, I think, 5th standard. I saw the film at least 10 times. I skipped my school. I skipped my home.
Cecil B.D. Mills' masterpiece, The 10 Commandments.
10 Commandments.
Charlton Heston playing the role of Moses.
Now imagine 10 Commandments change the whole perception of America and the Christianity, rather, I would say. The rest of the world came to know this religion is so great through 10 Commandments. So why can't we make Lord Krishna or Lord Rama and present that way that whole world should know this is India? You see, that is my dream. If any boy who comes here and makes that movie, our mythology, our backdrops, then you see what happens to the world. Fabulous. They will know where India is. Fabulous. And that is my dream.
Right. Now, these are the movies that you watched, which you liked, which you loved, but
you're talking about this decade, last decade?
What would you make today, for instance?
What I would definitely like to make 2 kind of movies. One is either musical or it has to be issue-based. You see, what happens is when you grow as a filmmaker, जब आप सीनियर हो जाते हैं तो आपकी कुछ सोशल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज भी बढ़ जाती हैं. आपको बच्चों के प्रति, लोगों के प्रति, कि अगर आप मुझे कहेंगे नो एंट्री बनाओ तो ये मेरे लिए शोभा नहीं होगा. मैं प्रोड्यूस कर सकता हूँ शादी से पहले ऐतराज़, लेकिन बना नहीं सकता क्योंकि मेरी अपनी लिमिटेशन है. क्योंकि लोगों को उम्मीद है.
But you could have made Iqbal.
Yes, but I can produce Iqbal.
Yes,
right?
But
because that is all the.
It's a great film.
Yeah,
it's a great film.
क्योंकि इकबाल से मेरी मेंटल सेटिस्फेक्शन होती है, इसीलिए मैंने सर्च लाइट एक डिपार्टमेंट खोला, मुख्तार सर्च लाइट फिल्म, so that I should encourage the independent cinema and all those David filmmakers who have great ideas, better ideas, without caring for box office.
तभी जॉगर्स पार्क भी बना.
जॉगर्स पार्क भी बना.
लेकिन जॉगर्स पार्क शायद काफी लोग आप पे दबाव डाल रहे थे कि आपको खुद को डायरेक्ट करनी चाहिए थी.
नहीं, जॉगर्स पार्क मैंने लिखी थी. I wrote the script and dialogue and I gave it to director. I said that the moment it comes directed by Subhash Ghai, people are not going to believe it.
That has to be big. Why is that? All right, let's talk about that.
फिर वो कहेंगे ये सुभाष घई ने अपना नाम दे दिया.
I think let's go sit down and let's talk about that.
Okay.
Why is it that, you know, whenever your name comes in, everybody expects something huge, you know? It has to fill up their entire 70mm screen.
Maybe that I always love to make movies larger than life, and I still want to make, because for a movie, the magic of cinema has to be there. Magic of cinema can come only when you think larger than life. When it should be larger than your dreams, and they should look real, like it's whether Tal, Karma, Sadagar, whatever. So that's cinema. Please come in.
Whistling both the International Institute of Film, Television and Media Arts. That's wow. What I want to know from you is, in terms of, we've talked about, you know, overall what you expect to achieve. You know, log aayenge.
The whole objective of this institute.
But in bottom line terms, how does the institute pay for itself?
In return?
Yes.
Yes. You see, what I see and foresee, my vision is to expand this model to many other institutes. We have a plan to set up 10 other more institutes, and one in each state. One visiting woods in each state. And there are so many countries who have invited us after seeing this. They want to set up media city, they want to set up institution, they want to set up training centers. So we are getting a lot of offers. So naturally, our hard work for the last 4 years is going to make it a model, business model finally. Because there is no school like this. There is no research work done like this. There are no faculty like this, where we have a mix band of the Western teachers and Indian teachers. People like Nasuddin Shah is the head of Department of Acting.
Yeah.
So
we have Shyam Benegal.
Shyam Benegal as a director. Yeah. So these are people, who are responsible and committed people, you know. And they have come on their own. You see, it's not that they saw the building and they were impressed.
So how did you choose your
They
dean?
saw the passion and the vision.
How did you choose your dean? Now, dean kaise choose kiya aapne? The gentleman called Kurt Inderbitzen. How did you choose him?
Yes, Mr. Kurt has been the producer and director in Los Angeles, and also when we came to know that he's a teacher in the university also. So this is this kind of person we wanted. He was a producer, director, as well as the teacher in the university. So he has been a wonderful asset to our Whistling Woods, I would say. For the last 4 months here, he is, and he has checked everything to see to it that it is a foolproof education to reach the academic excellence by students. And it's wonderful, I would say.
और जहाँ तक साउथ का प्रश्न है, साउथ की फिल्म का प्रश्न है, अभी तक आपका रोस्टर जो मैंने देखा उसमें साउथ से कोई ज़्यादा लोग नहीं है in terms of the South film industry. You're not going to be concentrating on that?
No, you see, we have invited everybody, South, North, Chicago, Bihar, everywhere. We have publicized our film school, and we will welcome them, because in my film institute Pune, I see half of the people are from the South, and you never know that tomorrow here also you see the 30-40% from the South, because talent is everywhere. What they have to learn is the art of storytelling.
I like the way you put North, South, Chicago, Bihar.
Yeah,
that's nice. Chicago and Bihar comes together.
That's
nice.
Right.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Right.
Most interesting. All right. Now that's finally. I know we've made you walk around a lot. We've made you take a look at your institute again and again. Of course, you take a look at it every day. But all the same, finally, let's do a rundown of your films very, very quickly. Right from the beginning till today. Your first directorial venture, when you first directed your film, how did that come about? सबसे पहली फिल्म जो आपको डायरेक्ट करने को मिली, कैसे मिली और क्यों मिली?
You see, I was writing script and submitted my script to the top 6 directors, and it was sold. They were sold within 6 months, and they were brilliant script, and instantly I could sell them. But during this process of selling, I had a script called Kalicharan, which I narrated to Mr. NNCP, the producer. When he heard the script, and he liked my narration, the way I narrated the story. And after 3 days, he offered me, why don't you direct yourself? I said, I do not know, because I know cinema, I can imagine the things, but I have not gone through the practical. He said, but no, I can see that you imagine exactly as the professional imagine. So we will see to it that we will take a chance. So I said, okay, call is yours, sir. And then he gave me, and trust me, there I believe. There, if somebody says it became just by fluke, no. I would say I was a writer-director of theatre during my college days. So I was an actor in my school days. I was a singer in my school days. I was a dancer in my school days, college days. Right? So those 10 years training from my school to college, to my graduation, and this 2 years training in Film Institute, where I came to know the whole technique, how the drama is told. That helped me a lot for making.
लेकिन अगर Kalicharan हम देखते हैं, आज की तारीख में भी देखते हैं, the way the movie has been edited, there's a shot, there's a reaction shot, the way the transitions have been worked out, the way I think it doesn't look as though
And I would say all the credit goes to the Film Institute of Pune, where I learned for 2 years, because it's very important for us to understand that we need to study minimum for 2-3 years, like any other academic career, like engineering or medical or you imagine a doctor becoming a doctor, learning for just 3 months or 6 months course. So many people will die.
That's right.
So filmmaking is also like a surgery, That's why so many people are flopping. They're dying because they are all half-cooked doctors, half-cooked professionals.
Right, and they'll be fully cooked here.
Yeah.
In this institute, they're going to be fully cooked. Now, however, coming back to the other thing, after that you made other films. Then a transition took place. आपने कर्ज बनाई. बहुत लोगों ने कहा कर्ज is just, perhaps a remake of the reincarnation of Peter Proud, perhaps, but with a twist in the tail, twist in the ending, and twist in so many other things. और कर्ज के बारे में, notwithstanding the fact that it's the favorite movie of a lot of people, बहुत लोगों की अभी तक favorite movie है कर्ज.
Yes.
जहाँ आपका प्रश्न है, आप खुद बोलते हैं, कई जगह पे मैंने खुद पढ़ा है, आपने खुद कहा है कि यार वो इतनी ज़्यादा नहीं चली जितनी चलनी चाहिए थी।
यस, मैं आज भी कहता हूँ कि कर्ज फिल्म जो थी, जिसको आज भी 10 साल के बच्चे पसंद करते हैं और मुझे मिलते हैं और कहते हैं अंकल हमें आपकी कर्ज बहुत अच्छी लगी, लास्ट वीक देखी, तो मैं हंसता हूँ क्योंकि ये फिल्म मैंने 25 साल पहले बनाई थी। और मैं मुस्कुराता इसलिए हूँ कि इस फिल्म को मीडिया ने बहुत क्रिटिसाइज़ किया था
जी,
और फिर मुस्कुराता ये हूँ कि ये फिल्म ज़्यादा चली नहीं थी। ये सिर्फ दिल्ली में, बॉम्बे में और अहमदाबाद में 3 जगह सिल्वर जुबली हुई थी। बाकी यूपी में तो बिल्कुल ही फ्लॉप हो गई थी, क्योंकि लोगों ने, ऑडियंस ने कहा कि हमें ये बताइए साहब कि आपकी कर्ज फिल्म में मरा राजकिरण है तो ऋषि कपूर को क्या तकलीफ है उसका बदला लेने की। क्योंकि उस वक्त में जब रीइंकार्नेशन में जो दूसरा हीरो आता था वो सेम फेस से आता था,
सेम फेस से आता था, ये अलग।
बट इन कर्ज में मैंने कहा कि सेम फेस से आ ही नहीं सकता
जी।
अगर मुझे दोबारा जन्म लेना है तो मुझे किसी दूसरे फेस में आना पड़ेगा, और वही कहानी मुझे इंटरेस्टिंग लगी।
और सबसे पहली बार आपने एक औरत को विलन बनाया, सिमी गरेवाल जी को आपने ऐसा रोक दिया कि
क्योंकि आदमी क्यों, इसीलिए क्योंकि हर पिक्चर में आदमी विलन हो रहे थे तो मैंने बोला कि कुछ तो चेंज होना चाहिए। फिर वो कहानी में ऐसी चीज़ पिरोई गई कि उसके अंदर एक लव स्टोरी भी थी, मिस्ट्रेस की कहानी थी ऐसी।
And then you is it really true, or did you say it just like that? You found it difficult to get to finance for your next film, for Hero? You found it difficult for Hero? You found it difficult to get finance? Is that correct?
No. By that time, फिर कर्ज के बाद मेरी विधाता फिल्म आई, that was also big hit.
Vidhata was a huge hit.
Yeah.
Vidhata was a
so
monster.
No, during Hero time, I didn't have any problem because all the distributors.
What did that take place for Vidhata?
Sorry.
So
after Curse there was a Vidhata. After Vidhata there was a Hero.
तो Vidhata की financing में problem आई थी क्या?
No, Vidhata was produced by Gulshan Roy, and I was committed to him to produce a film for him before Curse. So he financed my film Curse, and I directed his film Vidhata. Then Mukta Arts Private Limited was formed,
and then Hero came along.
Then Hero came.
But that was it was almost like a paradigm shift. If you look at Hero, or if you look at Curse, Vidhata is a transition film.
That's
Vidhata
right.
transition. There's almost a whole creative shift. What happened?
But that is exciting. You see, that is called excitement. If I go for a creative shift, nothing like it. I hate to follow my last picture. That's the first thing I can see in myself. Because you cannot follow your success. This is the past. Now let's look out for something else. Like if after Tal, can you imagine that I'm making a film with a father and 3 daughters story called Yade? Making Tal is so different. Tal is so different than Pardesh. Pardesh is so different than Khalnayak. Khalnayak, Pardesh, Tal and Yade. You see, all 4 different. And then I jump into Kisna. And today what I am making is a totally different film, much ahead of time. Contemporary cinema. But it's going to be a totally different, young film.
You're directing it?
I'm directing
it. Has it started?
We will start in month of October, November, and by next year we'll release it.
By the month of October, November, and by next year it will be released. And it's going to be a modern film.
Modern.
I hope we haven't broken anything over there. Just remember, the institute has still not been set up, all right? It still has to go open. So don't break anything. But, which is amazing. So it's going to be a big film, as usual. It's going to be a big Subhash Ghai film.
Should be. Hope so. But it should be big in content too. You know, it doesn't big mean the big frames, big photography or big stars. It has to be bigger in content and tackling with some problems in life.
I think that's why you like David Lean film, because he used to choose such fantastic subjects.
That's right.
Because not only was the canvas so big, the content itself was fantastic. Yes. But then he chose, like Lawrence of Arabia, Dr. Zhivago, Passage to India, Ryan's Daughter.
Yes, and what simple frames and picturesque frames. You see every frame as a painting. No camera gimmicks. Characters are larger than life. And great storyteller, I would say, David Lean. Later on, the technology and of science fictions and digitization has taken over. Now every song is like a video music, if you look at it. Even the film songs are getting into video music, which is well accepted with its own time. But finally they will come back to the reality that things have been told in a poetry.
But you never do that. You don't use too much of gimmickry in your camera work.
Because I like to express story. I like to express my words. You see, I like to express the songs, poetry. I believe in the poetry of the songs.
And that's what
you look at Krishna's song also.
And that's what you've said so many times before, even earlier you've said so many times before.
Because the written words are more important for me than the technique.
In terms of the older filmmakers, जैसे Bimal Roy की बात आप करते हैं कई बार. He's one of your favorite filmmakers.
Yes. He was a great director as far as the cinematography, use of cinematography and sound to narrate his story.
And even Abrar Ali Sahab.
Yes. Great writer, Abrar Ali.
But Abrar Ali Sahab, I think he didn't get his due, but we'll talk about that at some other point in time.
Yeah.
He didn't quite get his due, really and truly speaking. I think he was overshadowed by so many.
There are many talented people who did not get their dues. And many people who did not have talent or do not have talent, they are highly successful or mediocre people.
That is, I think, the work of God. And that's where we started off from, and that's where we must end. Because Mr. Ghai and I will talk about God at some other point of time.
Thank you.
Mr. Subhash Ghai, thank you very much. It's been a great pleasure, as always, talking to you. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Real pleasure. And may whistling woods grow.
Yeah.
Let the whistle grow into a big chorus.
Thank you.
And may you be more successful than you are right now.
Thank you.